Well, hello there. It seems there is one viewer. We'll probably wait for some more people to join. Oh, apparently not. So if you guys are watching right now, it would be a good idea to actually join the video hangout so we could communicate in real time. I've had someone ask me a question in the comments on Google Plus, and I would prefer to get everyone on the hangout so we can so others can can see the questions and can hear my answers. Well, I see we do have 4 viewers, and I do appreciate you coming. Just hopefully more people can actually join the video hangouts, or at least join the chat so everybody can see the questions. Okay, well, I just had someone ask me how to join the hangout. There's okay. So I'm gonna post the link here to the event page. You should be able to join. So I'm just gonna put it again on Google Plus. Or actually, try this one. Sorry if I'm confusing you. It's kind of the first hangout that I'm doing, so I'm not exactly sure how this is supposed to work. Okay, so it's apparently there's no join button. Try the second link that I posted. It's a bit of a longer link. You should be able to join with that. Oh, hello. We have one other person who have joined. Okay, now I see Miguel has joined. Okay, I'm not sure how to call you, MD Kayas. I hope I pronounced that right. You actually have to join the Hangout. I posted a link, and it's the longer link, plus.google.com/hangout/_HOA event. So you should be able to join on that one. Okay, so I'm not sure how to call you, MD Kayas. I hope I pronounced that right. You actually have to join the Hangout. I posted a link. And, okay, hold on. So it seems we have a bit of an echo here, so I'm gonna try and maybe mute. So okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so for anyone who's having problems joining, I posted a link on my Facebook page. try it there. I'll also post it on Twitter right now. Hopefully, you'll be able to join. I see we have a few people. Hello, everyone. First, thanks for coming. I guess we'll start right now, and just as people will come later on, we'll just add them to the chat as well. I would like to say that this is currently live on air, and it will be recorded and posted later on YouTube. So hopefully I do have your consent for that. I know in some countries there are different laws regarding recording conversations. So if everyone agrees, I guess we can get started. So what I would like to say is that we don't really have a time limit, and a good way for this to work, I guess, would be for each one of you to, ask a question, and then I'll give the answer, and then we'll move on to the next person who wants to ask something. So hopefully that will work out well. So if any of you want to break the ice, so to speak, I'm all ears.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ibrahima.
Hello.
I live in Dakar, from Senegal, in Africa, South Africa.
Yes.
So I'm a member at Tuts Plus. I watch plenty of your course, Adi, and yeah, I watch plenty of them, and I want to say that those courses helped me a lot. Now I'm a full web designer, so I work with many companies. I'm a freelancer, and I work with many companies. And sorry for my accent. Here, it's French, our primary language. So I don't know if I have an accent or I do mistake, but anyhow.
It's okay. I mean, we can understand you very well, and big
Okay.
congrats for.
Okay. So if you remember, I contacted you last time on Facebook about recording some videos, and you give me your ideas.
Yeah.
Some good advices, and I want to thank you for that, and thank you for all the great courses you provide. It helps a lot.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm always glad, to hear that people benefit from my courses and they're actually helpful and it helps them achieve their goals, whatever they are. So it's a really good feeling.
Okay, let me see if I have some questions.
Okay.
So I have a few questions.
Yes.
What do inspire you when you create some mockups in Photoshop or Sketch? So I mean, where do you find the inspiration when you create something for your courses or for your personal stuff, personal business?
Well, inspiration, I think, comes from everywhere around you. I do watch. I do spend a lot of time on my Dribble account, where I watch the stuff that other designers do, and how they tackle each challenge and stuff like that. And also, you can find inspiration when you're going out. For example, you walk down the street, you see a sign maybe, and you like it, and you look at how the colors are used, what kind of fonts are used, and stuff like that. But also the web, mostly, of course, the web is the big inspiration because you see a lot of great websites that are being done. I watch the awards website, if you know what it is. Yeah, that's a big inspiration because those are like websites handpicked by experts, and they're judged by certain criteria, so they usually get everything right. What else? Pinterest is also a good resource. You can like watch the different boards and stuff and find find good inspiration. Yeah.
Great.
Great. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Ahmed, and I would love to ask and join the discussion, please.
Sure. Hi, Ahmed. Welcome.
Yeah. It's nice to see you. I'm really excited because I'm following all your tutorials, and it's really good that you inspired me with your tutorial and with the clean and minimal websites that you created. My question is, for me now, I started as a graphic designer or print out designer, and now I'm focused more in web design fields. And somehow I feel I'm lost between coding and between being a front-end developer and UI designer, because most of the companies they ask for a front-end developer, but if you want to be a front-end developer, you need to know a lot of stuff like jQuery, Rails, and all this stuff. So, and somehow you feel that you are lost, and you start coding on the website instead of creating the things on the normal way on Photoshop. So, how to have a balance between being a web designer and a front-end developer at the same time?
That's a tricky one. I think everyone should do what they feel most comfortable doing. Like, if you're not really comfortable with coding, then maybe you shouldn't do it, and just focus on what you like doing and what you do best. Of course, some knowledge is required. Like, if you're a web designer, you got to know how to use Photoshop and stuff, some basic design principles, but also some coding stuff. And that helps you because when you're designing something, you can actually do it in such a way that you will help the front-end developer later on, if you understand. So I don't know. I guess you got to find a balance somewhere. I don't think you can be like as good in both fields. You're always gonna have one particular area that you're better at. So I don't know, just find the one that you're better at and try to minimize the amount of work you got to do on the other side as much as you can. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, this is answer part of my question, but on the other hand, also I have to know all this knowledge in Rails and all this modern technology. I'm not very good in coding as you for sure, but I know this basic stuff like writing semantic code, the clean code, doing some good cool stuff on CSS and adding some JavaScript library. And I agree with you. If you are a web designer and you want, or if you want to be a web designer, it's good to have a knowledge in coding so you can imagine before creating the layout how things will function. But now there is a terminology like interaction designer. So if you hear this terminology like interaction designer, what does it mean? You feel that this kind of a new job or a new terminology, people use it without knowing exactly what does it mean, because what I have to study or what I have to be interaction designer. I have to be IT developer or more a graphical in part, or more to the graphic part. This is the problem I faced in the company, for example, I'm working in now. They want me to know Rails, Ruby, all this stuff, and I don't know if someone who study graphic design, I have to know all this stuff.
To be honest, I'm not really familiar with the term of interaction designer, but from from what I do know is that it's mostly related, not necessarily to how things look like, but it's more related to the user experience in total. So how people interact with a certain product. So I'm not really sure what to tell you there. If you have clients that ask you, things that they think an interaction designer should do, maybe you should ask them for some clarification, like what exactly is it that you want me to do? That's what I would do. I don't know if that answers your question though, because
yeah, it's. I mean, it gave me some idea, but as I told you before, you can find some companies because I agree with you. Working as a freelancer much better than working in a company. But working in a company, they ask for things you feel they don't understand what is it. So it's like, why do I have to learn this thing? This thing is related to someone who study IT.
yeah, it's true. They do ask for that, and it's actually one of the parts of being a web designer that people don't really know, is that you have to sometimes decipher what the clients are trying to tell you or what the clients want from you, because when you actually think about design, let's say they want a page, right? And I'm sure you've heard this a bunch of times. They want the colors to pop or everything to be more edgy, right? These are phrases that are used by clients because they don't really understand what they want. So they go with that kind of general phrases that they've heard other people use. So they use them themselves, hoping for like a magic result from the designer. But it's actually your job as a web designer, or in this case, as a web developer, to get really specific with them and um, try to figure out what they want from you, I guess.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I will give the chance for other people to ask.
Okay. Okay, if we have any more questions.
Do you have some backend skills, like in PHP, or some knowledges in certain frameworks like Laravel or something like that?
No, Laravel, no. And I only know like the basic PHP that I need for WordPress coding, because that's pretty much as far as I go with PHP. But
Okay.
other frameworks, no.
Okay, great.
In most of your web design, because I've been following you for a very long time, I feel that you like to create everything very clean and very minimal without having things complicated. Do you feel this is, I mean, this trend will stay for a long time, or things will change?
Here I would make the distinction between a good design principle and trend, because trend can mean rounded buttons, or trend can mean card design, like you see on Pinterest, right, where everything is like a darker background and you have those cards and with the white background. I think that's a trend. Designing things in a simple way and in a minimal way, I think is a good practice, because it makes everything easier to read, easier to scan by whoever is seeing your website. So I think it will continue, yes. It will continue to be something designers will do, because it is a good thing to do.
In your last courses, like skits and designing for e-commerce website, I feel that you don't spend much time on Photoshop and creating the mockup like before. Before you spend a lot of time working on the PSD, and after that going to the coding part. But now I feel no, you just create something roughly or not roughly, just basic idea, and you start coding. Do you find it's faster or?
Well, it depends. I try to get like the main idea of how the website would look like in Sketch or Photoshop or whatever design software I'm using. But there are like elements that can be much more or much easier to manipulate from the CSS directly, like the spacing of the text, the line height, like how the text lays out in the page, because there can be a bit of a difference between your design application and how it comes out in CSS. So I try not to skip any important areas, like if there are certain paddings or margins that I have to apply to the elements, I try to do them as precise as possible. But with that said, I try not to go down to the very last pixel, because again, those are adjusted much better from CSS.
Thank you.
But okay, I think
As a general rule, you should try to get as detailed as possible in your design software.
okay. I think both programs, Photoshop and Sketch, does a good job when it comes to extract CSS, I think. And I see you use Sketch for your latest courses. Is it
Yeah.
your to-go tool for web design, or do you still use Photoshop for web design?
No, it's my go-to
Okay.
tool for now, because Sketch has a few different things that are missing in Photoshop. Like for starters, it's like a vector application. Everything you do in it is scalable. It's a vector, and you don't have to worry
Right.
about going on a high-resolution display afterwards and having your design all pixelated and stuff in Photoshop, because Photoshop is raster basically, and Photoshop it was originally made for editing images, not necessarily for web design. And
Yeah.
because it has certain features, people started using it for web design. But recently there are applications like Macaw, which I've done a course on, applications like Sketch, which are just much better. And Sketch has some great features like the artboards. You can get really organized within Sketch when
Just like
designing.
in Illustrator, I think.
I think so. I couldn't say, because I'm not really an Illustrator user, so
Okay.
I don't know exactly.
Okay. Great.
Uh, I want to ask the last question before leaving. Is there any upcoming courses for you?
Yes, of course.
Of
I'm
course.
currently working. I'm currently working on a WordPress course. It's about designing in WordPress and the whole, theory behind how a WordPress theme should look like. And one of my future courses is about landing pages, but that's pretty much all I can tell you about it right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be releasing courses throughout the year, so.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, and it was a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Okay, see
Thanks,
you.
Ahmad. See you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, well, I'll take this brief moment to answer MD Kayas from chat, because he's seeing me, but he cannot ask any questions.
Okay.
And I would just like to, ask you to follow the link that I posted on Facebook and also on Twitter to be able to join the chat. And I'll just post that link once more. Let's see if I can actually send it directly to you. Okay. Okay, so MD Kayas, I just sent you a link on Hangout. So if you follow that, you should be able to chat. Hopefully it will work. Okay. Any other questions? Well, I'll ask you a question then in the meantime. Do you think it's worth doing an episode number 2 of this kind of session? I mean, would it be helpful for you if I do this like once a month, maybe?
Yeah, this will be great, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so MD, I see you've joined. I see you've joined the chat. Can you see me, hear me? Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Did you have a question?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I want to some question about WordPress.
Yes.
How can I learn WordPress properly? Basically, I know how can WordPress dashboard manage, but I want to yes MD guys.
Yes. So you have a question about WordPress and you would like to know what exactly?
How can I learn properly WordPress theme designing?
Okay, so how can you learn WordPress? Well, the easiest way is just to go to Tuts Plus and take a course there. Because I guess, are you a subscriber to Tuts Plus?
Yes, basically I collect it from my brother because of I have no ability to buy this course.
Okay. Well, there are other alternatives on the web. There are ebooks you can buy, you can download, I mean. And just basically what I would advise you now is to use the WordPress codex, because that's for free, right? So the WordPress codex contains everything you want to know about WordPress, from theme development to the structure, the hierarchy of a WordPress theme. So that's basically a very good place to start. And what you can do is install WordPress and have a look at one of their themes. Open it in an editor, take each file, take a look over the code, see how it links to maybe other pages, where it's included. Of course, get familiar with the whole WordPress backend, the admin interface, and how you can create posts and such. I'm not exactly sure how advanced you are in WordPress, or you're just a beginner, I think. Yes.
Advice, actually, basically, but the future of WordPress is how many years it stable in the market.
I didn't quite understand that. Can you repeat?
How many years WordPress theme are marketplace?
how many hours does it take to create a WordPress theme for?
Popularity basically. I seems.
Okay, so how many hours does it take to create a popular theme that will sell on ThemeForest?
Yes.
That's what you're.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a lot of competition on ThemeForest, and you got to come up with something new on ThemeForest. But before you get to ThemeForest, I think it's important you get the basis of WordPress first, because you won't be able to get a theme accepted there unless it's really well made. So you got to start with the basics first, and then work your way up to selling it on ThemeForest.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In addition, I can say there are good resources on Treehouse, Team Treehouse. They provide good courses about team development, WordPress, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's true. They do have good courses. I've watched some of their courses as well. So the web is like an ever-growing family of websites of educational websites right now. So you can find good content everywhere. It's really great. Yeah. We do have a question from Miguel Cangueiro. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that name right. Are you familiar with Grunt? Do you use it or plan on using it in the future? I didn't use Grunt, and I don't know if I will, honestly. So I couldn't tell you more about that. Okay, do we have any other questions?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Let's say you have a project. What is typically your workflow?
Depends on the project. Like a typical web design project, or?
Yeah. Let's say a web design project.
Okay. Well, if it's a web design project, the first thing you got to do is plan it, right? What do you need to do? What kind of content will you have? What kind of text do you have on it? What's it for? Do you have a logo? Stuff like that. And after you get all this information, of course, you start with the wireframes. And the wireframes, you can create them on anything you want, on a piece of paper, on an iPad, on the web, using a mockup tool, in Photoshop, in Illustrator, wherever you want. Basically, you create that kind of raw structure of the pages, without worrying about what kind of fonts you're going to use, what kind of colors, what kind of spacing between elements. The idea of the wireframe is basically to have all the elements you need in that page. So when you get to the design stage, you know exactly what elements you need, so you can start arranging them.
Okay.
And if you're working, of course, for a client who's requesting this project, it's good to settle on the wireframes first before you get into the design, because if you don't settle on those and you start designing, he's going to come with some changes later on, and it can throw you off. You might have to change a lot of the stuff, and it's just going to be more money, more time wasted.
Okay.
And, yeah, after, of course, he approved the wireframes, well, we just move on to designing stuff.
Okay.
That's
great.
like a typical course.
Great. Thank you.
Do you use CSS frameworks in every project?
CSS frameworks, what exactly are you referring to? Like anything in particular? Or?
Like Bootstrap.
Oh, you mean like the... yeah, sometimes I do. It depends on the project. If it's a really simple project, then I basically just code it from scratch, because there's no sense in including all of that stuff. But depending on the project, I've used Bootstrap, Foundation, I've worked with it. So yeah, when it's necessary, I do use frameworks.
Thank you. I
You're welcome.
I use some frameworks, but I don't know what to stay, what framework to stay. I tried semantic UI, if you know.
I've heard of it, yeah.
And I don't know very much about semantic UI. What I saw, I think you need more JavaScript knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Semantic, it's right or?
I wouldn't know. I haven't really used it, so I'm not gonna guess if you need JavaScript or not. But
I see. I see. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Personally, I don't like framework. I tend to use SCSS because frameworks add some tricky. I don't know how to say that. Add some markup like classes called ng10, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
but I prototype very fast with Bootstrap, for example. For clients, I work for a small firm and I've done very fast project in Bootstrap.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, documents and
yeah, I think that's
you-
the goal to build something quite easily and fast.
I think frameworks have their pros and cons. Like uh, a pro would be um, what our colleague here said, that he prototypes very fast, and that's true. You can, once you get acquainted to all the classes and the markup, you can dish out really really fast prototypes, working prototypes. On the other hand, you don't really have control over the code, which means you have predefined classes, predefined structures in CSS. Like you got to nest various elements to get what you want. I guess you got to compromise. Depends what you need most. If you want to have really clean code that you're going to write yourself, then it's going to take a bit longer. But if you want it the other way around, you're going to make things faster, but you won't have your own code.
So we can expect your future web design courses done with Sketch, I think.
Yeah. From now on, I'll be using Sketch.
Yeah. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Anything about logo design or logo design or brand identity design with Sketch? Do you plan courses like that?
No, not for me, unfortunately. Identity and brand or brand and logo design is not really my thing. So
Okay.
I'm gonna let other people more talented than me to do that bit.
Great.
I'm mainly focused on
UI.
like web development, UI, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi Adi, I have a question to you, and I'm a
Hello.
big fan of. I follow many of tutorial from you.
Thanks.
I really like your tutorials, and actually, currently I am working as a front-end developer in a small company, and I'm mainly working on UI part and for WordPress theme and plugin development. I'm new to WordPress, and actually, I want to make premium themes for Theme Forest, premium theme, both theme and plugin. I expect some suggestion from you.
Yeah, on ThemeForest, I'm not really sure about WordPress themes on ThemeForest because I don't have any WordPress themes selling there. All I have is landing pages. So, I'm not really an expert on WordPress theme, but I can tell you what I do know about, the quality requirements and, like some general advice if you want,
Yeah.
that I can give you. As I said earlier, ThemeForest is a very competitive marketplace and it has a lot of items. And if you look at it, a lot of them will be really similar, especially in WordPress theme. Like you have the same basic structure. Now, in order to be successful, and this is actually applicable to all areas of life, in order to be successful, you gotta be unique in some way. So if you're thinking about making WordPress themes, try to see what it's there right now, and try to see how you can be different and what you can bring in addition to that. And of course, being accepted on ThemeForest requires, a lot of attention to detail. If you're building WordPress themes, of course, your code needs to be like top-notch. You can't have any errors in your code. And yeah, of course, the design must look good as well. So I guess
Thank you very much for your
that's what I can
suggestion.
tell you. Sure. I'm not sure how much that helped you, but maybe in like a year or two when I'll have themes selling on ThemeForest, I'll be able to tell you more then.
Yeah.
So what about UX in your project?
Yes.
I think it's the key for a good looking aesthetic, I think. So what about that?
Are you referring to how aesthetics relate to UX basically?
Yeah.
Okay. I think they're both important, and you shouldn't really take away from one to increase the other. If you can have like a balance of the two, it will be great, because it doesn't really matter if you have an awesome looking website if it's very poorly conceived. Like users can't really navigate on it properly, they can't find what they're looking for, and vice versa. But I think that these two notions kind of are like that. You can't really have one without the other. You can't say that, oh, this is a very good looking website, but it has a poor user experience. Because if it has a very good user experience, then it's going to be a website that's really easy to navigate. And it's going to be a really simple one, clean layout, minimal maybe, and that's going to be a beautiful website. So I guess it's a matter of perspective here.
Great. So just one more question.
Yes.
What is your advice for a newbie in design, in the design world?
Newbies in design. I would say like practice a lot, because design isn't really something that you can master overnight. I've been in this field for over 6 years now, and I still have a ton of things to learn. And it's an ever-learning process. And it's not just about trends, it's about, the basic stuff.
Okay.
And I think, for a newbie, take the simple task of, designing a simple website, like say his personal portfolio. How would you design that? Take a look at some of the other websites, how they're doing it, and don't copy them, but see what kind of elements they use, what kind of techniques, how everything is laid out, and then try to make your own. And at first, you're probably gonna fail or create something that's not really good looking, but you'll get better over time. You just keep practicing and practicing and so on. It's a trial and error game. The more you make mistakes, the more you learn and you get better, I guess.
Great. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi Adi, it's Sanjay here.
Hello, welcome.
Hi Adi, I do have a question. So, have you ever used Y area roles in your front-end project?
Use
Y
what? Sorry.
area roles. Y area roles.
Uh, I don't know what that is actually, or
Okay,
maybe I
so,
didn't understand it.
okay, so basically, what we do in Y area roles is we assign certain landmarks dedicated to assistive technology, like roles, roles main, roles navigation, roles uh, content info, roles complementary, like that.
Hmm.
So have you ever used like that or what?
Um, I don't think so. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure, um, what you mean. Maybe if you can give me an example.
Okay, let me see how can I send you a message.
There's a group chat on the right side of the window. You can use that to message. It should work.
Let me check. Yeah, have you got one link?
Okay, so we're talking about accessibility, basically.
Yes, so I'm talking about Y area roles.
Okay. No, I haven't really used that. The thing when building something and talking about accessibility, I only do like the basic stuff on forms. Maybe add an aria hidden true and role equals main on the main content. A role equals navigation. So
Yeah.
just like the basic stuff which will aid with accessibility, but nothing. Nothing too complex on that
Okay,
matter.
no problem.
Okay. Any questions?
Adi,
Yes.
how much does it take you to record a course?
To record.
Yeah, a course.
Depends on the course and depends on my neighbors actually, because I still live in like an apartment building, so
Okay.
I don't have the best of conditions, but usually from recording to editing and uploading everything and getting everything done, I think about like a week, maybe a week and a half.
Okay, fine. So you choose your own subject, I think.
On the courses, yeah, sometimes it's more of a collaboration with the Tuts Plus editor, Ian Yates. He's the one I have to run it past through. So if I have an idea, I have a chat with him, tell him that, hey, this is what I want to do, and we basically take it from there. And sometimes he has an idea and tells me if I want to make a course about it. So that's kind of the way the way it works.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm just going to answer Bayram Alak. He asked me if he can put a question. If you could just join the video chat so everyone can hear your question, that would be great. Yes, go ahead.
I'm beginning of HTML CSS learning, so you must be advised give away how any learning.
Best advice on what? I didn't
When,
get that last part.
how much learning to stable CSS?
How much learning do you need for CSS?
Yes.
Um, I don't know. I mean, that really depends on you and how fast you can assimilate information and how fast you can learn. You know, I can't really tell you a number of hours, but you know, a general rule is that the more you practice, the better you get, the faster. You know, the faster you get better. So.
Okay, so Adi, one more question from me.
Yes.
So how can we improve the page performance? So what are the techniques? Basically there are certain techniques like using image sprites and putting JavaScript at the bottom
Yeah.
of the page, just above the body tag,
Mm-hmm.
and image compression like that. So I want to know a bit about in advanced level.
On advanced level, well, you know, actually, you know, the simplest of techniques do, you know, get the best results. When talking about page performance, of course, you need to consider images. Yeah, so if you can use like font icons instead of real icons, then it's
Absolutely.
much easier to do that. Yeah.
Yep.
Sprites, of course, as you mentioned, instead of downloading like you know all of those smaller images and have like a gazillion HTTP requests, you get like a single one. Also, let's see, page performance. You know, I guess you know the way you write your code. Of course, if you get really bloated pages and with a lot of JavaScript in them, that will essentially you know
Yes.
increase
So,
the
so,
page
so the
load.
technique will be minifying HTML, minifying CSS.
Uh, I would say maybe the CSS and JavaScript more than the HTML, um, especially the JavaScript, because if you have like really long, or really big JavaScript files, then that's going to seriously slow down your page. And you know, when possible, try to only include the necessary stuff. Like I'll give you an example here. If you're building a website using Bootstrap, Twitter Bootstrap, instead of downloading the whole package, like if you're
Yes.
just gonna use a slider, there's no point in really downloading the whole JavaScript library. Just get that the JavaScript that's for the slider, and
And we can customize as well via the website, I guess.
yeah, there's the customizer there, so
Yeah.
you can you know check only the elements that you need, and
Yes.
okay, so let's see another question from Miguel here. Have you any tutorial about WordPress theme design? Yeah, it's coming actually. The one that I'm working right now, it's about WordPress theme design. So that's going to be coming up. I think next month.
And so is it starting from some scratch, or is for the intermediate or advanced level people, the tutorial which you are going to do?
The WordPress, yeah, it's for beginners. So basically, what I'm going to do is take you, you know, to the basics of WordPress, what a theme should have, and how it should be designed, what structure does it have, you know, stuff like that. So it's going to be
Okay.
for beginners.
Okay, so actually I was expecting I want to let you know that I'm still newbie and novice to WordPress. So what I was expecting is Like if I do have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and images and all, like a static web page. So how do I convert that static web page to dynamic WordPress theme?
Oui.
Okay, so yeah, so how do you turn that HTML into WordPress? Yeah. Um,
No, no, actually,
again,
actually, I was expecting some that kind of videos from you.
okay, yeah, I got it now. I misunderstood. Um, yeah, I gotta see because we kind of have like a territory dispute here, so to speak. The WordPress part kind of belongs to a different category in Tuts Plus, not
Okay.
exactly web design. So, I'll have to talk about. Plus, the thing with WordPress theme design is, it takes a long time. So if you build a theme from top to bottom, like from PSD to HTML to WordPress, it takes a long time, and that's kind of hard to squeeze into a course because there are time constraints on the courses that we're doing. So yeah, but if that's actually a good idea, taking an HTML page and turning it into WordPress. Yeah, I'll definitely consider that.
And yes, so I think you might be aware of the various preprocessor like
Mhm.
just stylus, lace, SAS. So according to you, which one is the best?
Preprocessors. I've started using SAS lately. I
Okay.
think I think it's complete. It's faster. It's better than less, for example. I haven't really used the others, so
Hmm.
I couldn't tell. But from between less and SAS, I would
Hmm.
say SAS definitely. Less is more for if you're just starting out with preprocessors, then less is better for you because it helps you to learn. But if you want more advanced stuff, then SAS is better.
Okay, cool.
Mhm. Okay, I'm just going to answer here, Bayram Alak. I've sent you a link on Hangouts that you can access and join the event. You shouldn't have any problem with it. Mm, Okay. Any other questions? Um, Julio, your microphone is really, really loud, really noisy. Just FYI. I'm gonna ask you something then. Did you check out the last course I did on the e-commerce using Sketch e-commerce for mobile? Okay.
Sure. Record only yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Abhi. It looks no one is now asking you questions. So let's discuss something. You may tell something to everyone.
Yep. Was that a question? I didn't quite get that. I was
Oh yeah.
expecting.
I just told no one is now asking questions. So you can say something for everyone.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, I did ask you guys a question earlier, but nobody answered, so I'm just going to repeat that. Did you see the latest course I did on mobile e-commerce?
No, actually, I was so busy. I didn't have this chance to see the course. But I will see.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because, recently I started giving out assignments at the end of the course. So what I would do basically is design like maybe 80% of a project and then have you guys do the rest for the assignment. So, I was just wondering how you feel about that, if you had the
Yeah, it's
chance to do
definitely
it.
good for the student. They will be able to practice it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
What's your next plan for next courses? I mean, what courses are you planning for the future?
For the future, well, I'm not sure about future, but for the next two courses, and I've said it before. I have one that's coming about designing for WordPress, and another one about landing pages. So that's going to be those will be my next two courses. After that, we'll see. I don't really plan the courses on on advance for too many months.
I wait.
Okay. Akraf. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right. You're free to ask a question if you want.
Yeah, I want to ask about brackets, if you know it.
Brackets. It's that code editor
Brackets, yes.
from Adobe, right?
Yes, code editor. I want
Yeah.
to, how can you use the PSD5 in the brackets? I don't know how to do it.
I don't know. I don't use brackets. I use Sublime Text, so I've only
How
like
Sublime
tested
Text?
bracket for a little bit, just to see how it is. It's cool. I like it, but I got acquainted to Sublime Text because I have better options for it in terms of coding and stuff, like snippets, like Emmet. I can use to write code faster. So I'm not really sure about brackets.
Okay. I saw some lesson of how convert a PSD file to WordPress, like the patching, but you know it. I forget the name. Adaptive. When you convert adaptive a PSD, when you convert a PSD file, adaptive.
Yeah, the adaptive. You're talking about the adaptive course, like the PSD to
Yeah,
HTML to WordPress, yeah?
yeah. I want to ask why you don't use jQuery to do the drop-down menu. If it's necessary to do the jQuery for the drop-down menu or not?
I don't actually remember how I do it on that course, but I'm probably using a CSS solution, right? Like CSS only.
Just CSS?
Just it. Well, I don't know if that's what you're asking.
No, I want to ask if you can do it drop-down just with CSS.
You can do it both ways. If you do it with CSS, you might not have access to certain effects that you can add through jQuery, but the advantage of using CSS is that it's going to work even if JavaScript is not enabled in the browser, right? So that's a much more elegant solution. But there are plugins that you can use, like the Superfish menu plugin. You can use that to create drop-down menus like really fast, and all you got to do is style it. And that comes with another plugin that's called Hover Intent, which adds a bit more finesse to how the menus are handled. Like you would have to hover a little bit longer on a menu item for it to drop down. So as I was saying, if you use CSS, you're missing out on a couple of effects that you can do in JavaScript. So.
Okay. I'm so sorry for my English.
Well, if you didn't understand that, I'll try to explain it again.
I just want to say if I can do the drop-down menu with jQuery, because I don't know the simple way to do it. I do just with Bootstrap. I use Bootstrap to do the drop-down menu. I don't do it manually.
Well, if you are looking for the simplest way, then that's via JavaScript, because you have a plugin. So if you use the plugin, that's the simplest way. If you don't, then CSS is the simplest way, I guess.
Okay. Thanks. Next time.
Okay, you're welcome. I've had actually another question here. Let me just pull that up. I had a question. What's the difference between jQuery and JavaScript? Well, it's pretty simple. jQuery is actually a framework of JavaScript. So, JavaScript, you can view it like, the basic language, and jQuery is kind of built on the same principle, but, it offers some additional features, and usually you can make stuff much faster in jQuery than JavaScript. And that was a question by, let's see if I can see your profile. Okay, by MD. Okay. Okay, so here's another question. Can I build WooCommerce site by WordPress? Okay, so by using WordPress. Yeah, from as far as I know, there's actually a plugin for WordPress called WooCommerce. Or let me just check that real quick. WooCommerce is actually the name of the plugin. So you install it in WordPress, and you have the ability to create an e-commerce website. It's just like that, really simple. E-commerce. Okay, yeah. So you get the idea. E-commerce, you can do it very simply in WordPress just by using that plugin, of course.
Do you use some JavaScript framework like AngularJS?
I haven't used it, no.
Okay. You should take a look. It can enhance your front end pages, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I will. It was actually, on a big list of things to do
Okay.
when I would get the time to get to it. But yeah, I will. There's still a lot of things about web design that I still have to learn. It's like a continuous thing. I hear about a new thing every day. So yeah, that's. Okay, let's see. I had a question on the YouTube channel asking me when is going to be the next episode. I plan to do this monthly if you guys are interested, because it's for you that I'm doing this. So if you are interested, you can always leave a comment on my Facebook page or tweet me or send me an email.
Of course we are.
Tell me that. Oh yeah. So yeah, I plan to do this like once a month, probably around the middle of the month, like 15 to 20. The original, goal of this hangout was to answer questions about, the Tuts Plus courses. So, hopefully, when I start giving out, more assignments and people follow that, I'll start getting even more questions. So. Okay, another questions. Do you have courses about how to convert PSD to Joomla? No, unfortunately not. I'm not acquainted with Joomla.
Get the campuses.
Okay, so it seems some people have trouble getting onto the Hangouts. So, they're asking me questions on my YouTube channel. And the last one was, do you have any course about theme options panel? It's not exactly a course. It's more like a series done on Tuts Plus a while back. So let me see if I can find it, because it's old. And basically, in that series, I build a WordPress theme from the ground up, and I do cover some of the option panel content. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So I found that series, and I'm gonna link it here. And I'm not sure if if you can see it, but I'll just put it on YouTube as well. So basically what I gave you in the chat there is a link to an older series that I did on converting from Photoshop to WordPress, and it covers a lot of stuff. It's over 50 videos though, so it's going to take a while to... And I'm going to put it on the event page as well on Google+. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Go ahead.
I see on every web design project you first create a style guide. Do you do that for every web project, and why? I assume it's just for keeping consistency.
Yeah, it's important, and it helps you along the way, because if you create like the assets, how I like to call them, but yeah, you're right, it's basically a style guide. If you create that firsthand, then it's going to be much easier for you to design later on, because you just have to place your components and apply the styles that you've already created. And of course, it's also easier to maintain, because when you come back a few months later and you want to create a new page, you already have those styles defined, so it's much easier to create new stuff.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume it's much easier now that you create things with Sketch. You have artboards and so on.
Yeah, it is. It is much easier because, as you said, you have the artboards and you can easily switch between them. So you can keep a separate artboard with all of your style guides. And the cool thing about Sketch is that you can create symbols and global styles for elements. So if you have a button, yeah, exactly. You can just copy the style and paste. Really
and you have plenty of good plugins.
You have a few plugins. To be honest, Sketch is kind of just starting in this field. So the plugins, sometimes they have bugs. They're not exactly stable all of the time. But from what I saw, yeah, there are some pretty awesome plugins. Like, for example, there's a plugin. Hold on, so it seems I can't hear you anymore for some reason.
Hello?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, sorry. So what I was saying was that there are a few plugins that are very cool. Like there's one that automatically shrinks or enlarges a button based on the button text.
Yeah, so, dynamic button. I think.
Dynamic button. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a bit buggy at times. That's why I don't use it that often. But I think there's great potential for it. And when choosing like one of these web design applications that you're going to use, you got to consider what's going to be done for it in the future, because if it has a big chance of being expanded with plugins and such, then it's a great option. Photoshop has a few plugins too, I don't deny it. It has a bunch of plugins, but not really geared towards web design.
I was using a lot CSS Hat, the version 2, in order to accelerate my front-end design, my front-end code.
Yeah. That would generate the CSS, right?
Yeah. CSS with SCSS, SAS Bourbon, and some cool framework like that, and less.
Yeah.
Can anybody hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Domna Adi, can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I was too late. I'm really happy that I can speak to you and for all of you face to face.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, and somehow like a dream for me, you know. I wish you continue this kind of episode because it's very useful for us. I'm living in Romania, and I wish to be one day like you.
My fellow Romanian, either.
Yes. Sunt în România acum. Da. I put my questions about theme option panel, and usually when I saw you face to face, I lost all my questions. You know, I'm not really prepared for that. I'm not really prepared for that. So you should give me time to get used to speak to people like you. I'm saying that I'm saying what I feel. You know.
Well, you know, we're all among friends here, so there's no reason to lose your questions.
No, it's I don't know. Okay,
it's a dream come true.
Well, you know, just you know, take it slowly. There's no rush here, as I said in the beginning of the video. There's no like time limit. Well, there is the 8-hour time limit from Google Hangouts, but I don't think we'll get to 8 hours because it's already 9:30 here. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have a question, just feel free to post that anytime you want.
Okay, I will communicate with you on your Facebook. I have you on my Facebook, and already I asked you about theme option panel, and thank you for you already answered me on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, I would like to add something else to that, because if you're like a WordPress developer and you want to build a theme options panel,
yeah,
there's, you know, you have two options: either code it from scratch, or you can use something called Redux framework. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I know about it.
Okay, you know about Redux. Well, I'll just post the link here so that everybody can get it. Basically, you know, it acts like the plugin inside WordPress, and you can use that to create. There we go, in the chat and also on Google Plus, to create theme options for your theme, and it has a bunch of different, you know, field types and all that stuff. But you know, since we're on the subject, I actually recommend people start using the theme customizer from WordPress instead of a third-party plugin, because you know it does offer, you know,
a lot of options.
A lot of options. Yeah, a lot of control as well over, you know, how your theme looks like, and you can customize it. You can add your own fields to it. So it's a very good option. And it saves you, of course, your theme will be, you know, much smaller, much lighter, because you don't have to include a third-party plugin. So that's good.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Hi, Adi.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yep.
I'm very happy to see you that live you are calling.
Well, I'm glad you could join our little group chat here.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
How are you?
Yeah, good. You know, we're talking about frameworks and WordPress here, and it's like a good talk among friends. So I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, I want to share one of my experience.
Yeah, you would like to?
Yeah, I am your student.
Ah, okay, I'm a student. Yeah.
I follow up your lectures, online lectures on Tuts Plus.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Currently, I was not prepared that I don't know that you are going live. I just see my Facebook and I see that this Hangout is coming.
Yeah, well, I've posted about this, you know, for a week now, and.
But I was not prepared to ask questions. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Can I see that disconnected?
No. Everybody's still here.
It is not visible to me. Can you guide me that I'm sorry, this is purely for the WordPress or other frameworks?
With
Actually,
the Redux,
I want to know about the PrestaShop.
you want to know about what?
PrestaShop.
PrestaShop. I don't know about PrestaShop really. The only experience I have with e-commerce is WooCommerce, the WordPress plugin.
Yeah,
I've worked with it before, so I don't really know what to tell you about e-commerce or PrestaShop.
Okay. And can you guide me that just what you think that WordPress will be 2015 and WordPress will be in, or is there anything else coming and replacing the WordPress?
I don't know. I mean,
I mean
when
that
as what as
the
the
WordPress?
what was that?
Future of WordPress.
The future of WordPress. Oh, I don't know about the future of WordPress, but you know, if we think about kind of the last years and how it's progressed, I think it's gonna, you know, become a really complex content management system because it went from like a simple blogging platform to something with which you can create e-commerce and forums and really complex websites and themes with like a gazillion options and shortcodes and stuff. So, you know, I think it's still heading in that direction.
Yeah, I follow up your course on WordPress from PSD to WordPress. It was, I think, very almost 1 year ago.
Yeah, it's a bit older.
And from there, I learn each and everything. But when I go into the WordPress, and that was I feel that the thing is a very advanced. Some I mean that I cannot. I am not fully prepared from that. For that, I feel that something I have to learn first, or that was an advanced way. Can you get me?
Um,
I
so
mean
you're
that
saying
is
that
there
you're like at a
any of
beginner
your
level,
series
right?
courses which guide step by step, even single thing is not missing.
So
The
guide
people
step by
who are
step to
not good in programming,
guide step by step to what, to creating a WordPress theme or something else.
Uh, when you have a custom post field or custom post type on your code, hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. When you have a custom post field or custom post type on your theme in WordPress, do you code them from scratch? Because I watch your PSD to WordPress minimal portfolio theme, and you do so.
Yeah,
And
well,
there is other alternative, because let's say you change the theme, so you are losing your custom post field and custom post type.
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know you're gonna use these two, it's best you put them in a plugin. Yeah, because even if you change theme, you're always gonna have them, and you can have like a plugin with maybe short codes and all that stuff. So you can register there, and you're always going to have them no matter what theme you're using. So yeah, that's a very good point you're bringing up.
Yeah, actually, there are plugins for handling that. There are two plugins. The one is called custom post field, I think. Let me just pass here the links.
Okay.
Advanced custom post field, I think, and custom post type UI. I don't know if you already know them. Okay. I just passed the two links right here.
Okay.
I use these plugins a lot for advanced for custom post type or custom post fields.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it helps a lot.
Yeah, that's those are some cool plugins. I've never used them before, but you see, that's why I like these talks, because you find out new stuff.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah, cool.
And they are quite popular plugins.
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't really work with custom fields or post types in WordPress, so I didn't need them.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good. It's a good topic to discuss, because when I made my first my first WordPress theme, that was one of the problems that I had. When I had some shortcodes directly embedded in my theme, and some widgets, of course. And then when I switched theme, I was like left with a broken layout, and I was like, well, what happened here? But yeah, it's always good to include widgets and all the stuff that's not really theme dependent, like shortcodes inside
yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's see. We have another question here on the chat from Nenad. I have a question. If you're starting now WordPress themes selling business, would you go with ThemeForest or your own standalone web shop to sell WordPress theme? I would say definitely with ThemeForest, and it's not just because I'm kind of related with Envato because of my Tuts Plus position, but if you consider ThemeForest, they already do a lot of the promoting for you, and people will find you much easier there than on your own website. If you're doing your own website, you got to start doing marketing campaigns for your items, for your website. You got to have good SEO to be found in search engines. While if you post your theme on ThemeForest, you can add descriptions, tags, keywords, and it's found much easier on a Google search, for example. So yeah, I would go with ThemeForest if I were you.
Yeah, me too. I think ThemeForest is the best marketplace out there.
Yeah,
when it comes to theme development, plugins, and so on.
Well, the whole Envato marketplace, and again, I'm not saying this because I'm affiliated. I'm saying this because it's the truth. I mean, looking at ThemeForest right now, there are almost 5 million community members and almost 7 million items for sale.
Wow.
And that's just, crazy. And I think those are the stats for the Envato market in total, so crazy. Really big market.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Let me ask you something then in the meantime. How I mean, what would you prefer in terms of content from me? Do you like the courses better or the smaller tutorials that I used to do? Because I haven't done the small tutorials in a while now.
Yeah, I think courses should be good as you do actually.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's my personal opinion.
Yep. And what do you think about Tuts Plus right now? Do you like the content that you see there? Is it good?
Yes, but I think it's there are a lot of content for beginners. For beginners, not so for advanced users or advanced programmer.
So you would like to see more stuff for
Yeah,
advanced?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Once again, that's my opinion.
Cool. Actually, Nenad replied in chat to my question earlier about the course versus smaller tutorial. I think this way you do one course and then 3 to 5 small tuts. Yeah, I would. You know, if time would allow me, I would do as many tuts as possible, but you know, sometimes we gotta sleep as well, so
Of course.
yeah.
So let's talk about design if you want.
Sure.
When you build something for your clients or for a course when you are in Sketch, how do you use how do you mix typeface or and the colors?
Typeface and the colors. Okay, well,
yeah.
You know, when using typeface, you basically have to consider what kind of message you want to convey through the website. Because if it's something like really modern and maybe it's tech oriented, like web design and such, or maybe not web design, but let's say that you have a startup in technology, right? I'll give you this example. You're creating some new gadget, then you know you could go with pretty simple typefaces like sans serif, you know, that are very clean.
Yeah.
But if you're, let's say you're writing or you're making a landing page about a book.
Yeah.
If it's about a book, you might use a
serif
typeface like a serif. Yeah, exactly. So it depends from case to case.
Okay.
And about colors, well, if you need to match the brand colors, then things get much simpler for you. Yeah. Because you just match them with the logos or what kind of other materials they have. But if you're just like playing around, or maybe you want to create a website for yourself, or maybe you're just not sure about what colors, then what I do is I go to the former Cooler, and I'll just link it here.
Yeah.
It's by Adobe. Now it's called color.adobe.com.
There is another app in the App Store, I think. Let me just show you that Spectrum. I don't know if you know that Spectrum.
No, I don't.
Okay, let me do a quick search here. Spectrum Mac app. Actually, it's a great markup, just like coolers, just like coolers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just passed the link.
Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. So basically I would use an app like this or like the Adobe one to kind of get a color scheme or maybe a good color that I like and I think would fit, and then just work around that, try to find some complementary colors and whatnot.
Okay.
It also depends on the imagery, for example. So if on the header you have like a big image with like a green space or something green, that then you might use some shades of that throughout the design, or maybe some complementary colors, or
Okay.
ultimately, there are no specific rules. Whatever looks good to the eye is good.
Of course.
Of course, always try to stay away from neon colors or pink, for example.
Yeah.
really, really bright pink. If you're doing like some technology related stuff, like really serious, and let's say you're doing a website for Intel's latest 6-core processor, well, try not to use pink.
Yeah, it's not the best choice.
It might send the wrong message.
Yeah, it's not the best choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Sure. Speaking of colors and stuff, a lot of people ask me this because they saw it in my videos. What kind of app am I using for that loop thing that appears and grabs the color? Well, it's an app called Color Snapper.
Yeah.
And I'll post a link on in there and in the chat so everybody can get it. It's a pretty cool app. I don't use it anymore since I switched to Sketch, because Sketch has its own thing.
Yeah, color picker. But there is another good, because Color Snapper is a paid app. There is another cool color. Let me just do a. I think it's called SIP. Yeah. Don't know if you know that SIP.
No, never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a free Mac app, and it just does exactly the same as Color Snapper.
Cool. Okay, so let's see, app SIP.
And there is now since last week a pro version, but the free version does the job. Okay.
Cool.
The free version does the job.
That's a very cool app.
And you can choose many formats like SAS, LESS, or NS Color or something like that. Okay.
Okay, hold on. We have a problem here. Let's see who this is. Sanjay, sorry, says that he's not getting the links from this chat. But to get the links, you actually have to be inside the Hangout, and I don't see you here, so that's probably why you don't get them. So I'll just post the link again where you can join the chat. Should be good to go.
Sorry.
And Nenad also gave us a link. If there are Windows users, then there's also a color pickup called instant-eyedropper.com.
Okay. Let's see that.
I'm not sure if actually this chat will appear in the recorded video that's going to be posted on YouTube. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Maybe. What is your actual process when it comes to translate a fresh sketch file to HTML and CSS?
Well, it depends on if I'm using a framework or not. Because if I'm using a framework, then I'll just write the HTML as I see fit using their markup, and then just style the whole thing in CSS. And if I'm not using a framework, then I'll do a bit more planning first, just to get the naming right for all the components, so that I can have an elegant code, and a code that's going to be much easier to maintain later on.
Great. I can pass another link for another Mac app called Zeppelin. Actually, you pass your sketch file, and it gives you the styles and the code. Just let me. It's an earlier version, a beta version.
Zeppelin. Okay.
Zeppelin. Yeah.
Oh, and it gives you HTML code as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
It's give you all the style guides of your sketch files. It's just like CSS hat, yeah, just like CSS hat.
Yep. You know what? You sent me this, and this is actually an example of a perfectly executed landing page. So I'm just going to post it again on Google Plus.
Great.
I'm actually going to use this as an example in my landing page course. So
yeah, great. Great.
That's great stuff.
Yeah, this is actually the perfect example of a landing page. Yeah.
So for like future sessions like this, do you have any suggestions or maybe topics that you would like to cover or anything like that?
Yeah, just yeah, maybe for me, design principles like color theory, fonts, typefaces, and a bit of development like coding, like a WordPress theme from scratch, coding a WordPress theme from scratch. I think, yeah.
Okay. I'll try in the future, to make it a bit more interactive.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can talk more about the courses as well. Since since we're here. Yeah. Any more questions?
No, I think I'm done.
I think you're done.
If you got question, go ahead.
Well, I kind of asked mine. This was like the test run. Okay. Oh, so here's one from Nenad again. So maybe about entrepreneurship and self-employment in IT. Well, yeah, that's actually a pretty good topic.
Yeah.
For a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So, Nena, do you want to talk about it now, or is that like an idea for a future session? Okay, so for a future session, yeah, definitely. I'll write it down, and we can talk about it. Since I think most of us here are like self-employed,
Yeah,
and don't really work for anyone,
mm-hmm.
like in the traditional sense of an employee. But yeah, so if anyone else has any questions, or
Yeah, just
anyone else?
yeah, the last question from me.
Sure.
What is the good recipes for a good tutorial? Because as I told you, I plan to do some tutorials, maybe a dedicated website for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, here the primary language here is French. Okay.
Okay. So you want to do something in French? Cool.
In French, yeah, in French. Okay, in order to help fellow developers or designers, because here in my country there are not many designers. Okay, good
Yeah.
developers, but not so many designers. Okay, but I want to record some tutorials in order to share my experience about web design, everything I learned about you. Okay, so what is a good recipes for a good tutorial?
Whenever I do like a tutorial or a course, I try to explain things to people like the way I would understand them if someone else was explaining them to me. So,
Okay.
I try to make it as simple as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Without being patronizing at times. Like, I try to explain to you a very simple thing that you would actually know. So I try to avoid doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe try to identify yourself with like the student or whoever it is is reading your tutorial or seeing your video. Try to make it concise, very to the point. Don't ramble, don't say unnecessary things.
Okay.
And yeah. And of
Okay.
course, make it interesting, because
yeah, of course,
nobody will want to learn it. So
yeah, okay.
Without using pink, though, yeah. So pink is not good for tutorials, not for website, not for tutorials. Just stay away from the pink.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I guess we'll wrap this up for this first episode.
Yeah.
It's been 2 hours since we started, and
yeah,
we had quite a lot of activity for our first episode. So I would like to thank everyone who participated. I had a great time talking to you guys, and as I said in the beginning, this is recorded and will be posted later on YouTube. It's done automatically, so you should see it in like probably a couple of hours.
Just put the link to that?
Yeah, I'll place the link on my Facebook page, on Twitter, and also on Google Plus, so you can see it again if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch then until the next episode. We'll just keep in touch on Facebook and stuff.
Okay, just want to thank you for answering all of our questions. You are very humble and keep the good work.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll see you next time then.
Okay, ciao.
Okay, see you everyone. Bye.
Bye.